So I'm not sure how many of you have ever heard something called a pivot table. Okay, if you are an Excel user and if you are sort of uh, grouping data by attributes, okay, or by levels in a column, you will want to use pivot tables. Okay, and I think if you're in marketing or if you're in any of this business side, right, you probably have done that. Group by, which is what we are doing here, is a tech is a method where we can do data aggregation. Okay, so we so it helps us answer questions like, for example, in this case we have a data frame with a column called job. Okay, and how many different levels are there? Okay, there are all these different levels. Okay, so you want to find, and let's say you want to find out, okay, what's the average income. Let's say there was an income column. Okay, what's the average income by say someone in management. Okay, what's the max income in management, what is an average income in blue collar. So if you have a lot of data, right, if you have say thousands of rows or maybe millions of rows, right, depending upon the size of the data you're dealing with, it's a very quick way to sort of get an assessment of what the situation is by a category. Okay, so and that's where group by comes in. Okay, so for example, we want to group by. So if we do df.group by equals job, it's going to give us a data frame group by. Okay, and it has various aggregation method, mean, min. So mean is average, min, max, count, size, sum. You can also define your own custom aggregation method, which we're going to go through later. But yeah, it comes in pretty handy, especially when you are dealing with a lot of data. Okay, so let's take this thing we were talking about, and let's say by job we want a mean of everything. So basically it's everything which is numerical. Okay, which remember we converted housing and loan into a numerical 1 or 0, right? So when it says mean, okay, it gives you by job, right, by job level, by job category. Say 39, the average age of an admin is 39. Okay, because we are calculating the mean. 63% of them, because it's 1 and 0, so it's taking a collective average of that, ones and zeros. So 63%, so it becomes a percent of them are of the admins own a home, and 19% of them have a loan outstanding. Okay, so something like that, right? So it sort of gives you a pretty good comparison of, as you can see that, okay, it doesn't tell us that. Is there anything unique we find out? Yeah, see, I think for students, so let's say the age is lower. Okay, of course, most of the time, most of the students are going to be in the lower age bracket. Folks who are retired have a higher age bracket, and so and so, right, on average age. Okay, so how does this work? Okay, so this is the original data frame. Okay, let's say this is job and this is age. Okay, job category and age, right? So category 1, category 2, category 3, and age 1, age 2, age 3, and category 1, category 2, category 3, and some other age, right? So it's going to split this this one data frame. Let's say you had a 2-column data frame. It's going to split it by category first. Okay, so it's going to split it by A, B, and C. Do whatever math we want to do with on this. Whatever aggregation method we want to do, it's going to do that here, and then combine all 3 data frames, the split data frames, and come up with that aggregated data frame. Okay, so pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If we just take a df.mean, we say that for the age column we have 41.1, okay, as the average age. Housing is 56% of the total number of folks in the data set. Okay, number of customers in the data set own a home, and 15% of them have a loan outstanding. But when you do it by job, okay, we can do it by different levels. Okay, so that's the difference between just applying mean directly to the data frame versus applying it by category. Okay. We can also do median, by education. So here we are sort of doing it by education, and as you can see, yeah, nothing much. I just wanted to apply it here. I don't think there is anything we can sort of make sense out of that. Okay. And so we can aggregate by one column, okay, which we have been doing up till now. Okay, so we are doing it by job. Okay. But we see that by job we are seeing three columns. What if we wanted to only spit out one column? And we can do that here. Okay, all we care about is age by education. Okay, and we can do it by multiple columns as well, which is the same as what we did here. Okay, so nothing different here. But we can explicitly specify, say you wanted to only do two columns. Okay, we can do that. Okay, so now let me just make sure we have that right. Okay, and that's the data frame, and we're going to move along. Okay.